What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, LoBaggers? It is Friday, March 15th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and that is who we are. We are LoBaggers. That's not going to change. That's not going to change. The name of the show may change, will change, but the fact that we're LoBaggers won't change. Peter Loshak is the guy who brought us all together, and we are LoBaggers. Shout out to all the LoBaggers in the chat right now. Jorge, don't play. Mustache play today. French League 2. Lille. On the money line, French mustache play today. I like it, Jorge. I like it. And by the way, your mustache is looking very, very sharp, Jorge. It's very bushy, but sharp. Shout out to Jay Cross. We got JC Alvarez, Joseph Mondalto, Nutflush Allen. Man, what a sweet thing to say, Nutflush Allen. Much love to you, my man. Drew Daddy had a crazy-ass day yesterday. He says went down 7 units in the morning. Afternoon games made it all back, and some ended up paused because of live wagering. I had a similar day, but I succeeded because I went 6-0 again in NHL. Up 6.46 units. Shabam! My second 6-0 in the last 14 days. Shabam! God damn ya. My totals are off. They weren't last night, but let me give a shout out to our man Noli Knows, because I would have had a 5-0 day. And you know what? I needed all those wins because I went 6-9 in NCAA basketball, 2-3 in NBA. There was 2 additions that happened yesterday due to teamwork, and that's what this show is all about. One, on the Late Show, Noli Knows, and I don't really know how I missed it. I guess a little overwhelmed yesterday, but I don't know how I missed the under in the Ottawa-St. Louis game. Noli Knows said he was on it in Late Show. In my head, I was like, well, that should be a 5.5. I was shocked to see a 6. Jumped all over that. And then I had the honor of doing King's Court last night, and while we were breaking it down, Jay Money was talking about the under in the Utah Jazz-Minnesota game, and we were line shopping on SBR odds. Well, we weren't line shopping. We just had SBR odds up, and we were watching it drop fast. It was a 1.5 drop, a bookmaker. I mean, it was just kept dropping in front of us. And so we jumped on it, and we got that by a half point. And those 2 bets are the reason why I'm going to have a decent positive day yesterday. Unbelievable. You go 6-0 in NHL up and still don't have a huge profitable day. That's just because I squandered it in college basketball and NBA. But that happens. So shout out to the guys and Drew Daddy. Now we got Golden Nug in the house. We got Vinny Cornell. I'm moving a little fast here. Let me back it up so I can catch all of these guys here. We got Maxwell Smart ready to rock. Rem Most. I am not the king. But we are a great team, Rem. And you're hugely helpful to this team. Hugely helpful, Rem. Carlos Peroj in the house. Matt Randall. Anna Merrick. Alex Simeon. Carlos Peroj and his cheesy balls. FSU Chatfield. We got Ron Lofton. Ron Ruiz. Carlos Peroj just said Christopher Commentini. Vaughn Polo. Mr. Gokster. George Cruz. What a great group. Flipper 13, DJ, Big Boss, Tomarino, Tomor. And Tomar says a big college card. Matt Randall, Kansas minus 2 easy cash. That was a mistake I made last night. There was so many blatantly obvious plays, and I just wasn't seeing things clearly. There's so many of Max's winners, Matt's winners that I wasn't on, and it was shocking. And thank God for doubling up on UC Irvine. Thank God for the Wichita under, or it would have been a fucking disaster of a night. Because we lost that 1 under because of overtime again. It's just, but whatever. We made up for it. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Gate Pass Key, 6-1 in NHL. Sens money line, Arizona puck line, Penn's puck line, Washington puck line, Nashville puck line, Dallas puck line, lost on Habs money line. Wow, then you definitely had more units than me because Arizona puck line, I was on Penn's puck line, Washington puck line, Nashville puck line, Dallas puck line. Great work, Gate Pass Key. That was wild. Maxwell Smart says Texas first half and Kansas full game, but lost the over. Tormer says Florida could be a top team if they improve their goaltending offense. Is great. Yeah, it was an impressive win. Art Hayes says, Jimmy, I followed you in NHL as usual. Attaboy, Art Hayes. Let's get that cash. Richie Rich, another huge asset to our NHL squad here. Gate Pass Key, Richie Rich. We got so many great cappers here. Dom Ricci, another huge. God, this guy is magic on the ice. We got East Van Pork Chop. Haven't seen him in a while. Nice to have you back. Steve Cordero, Brad Summersell, the CSIR, the CERN Network. Gin Rummy. And Gin Rummy did take Ottawa money line. Attaboy. Man, I wish the Red Wings had taken care of business there against Lightning as well. Great group. iExclusive Productions, George Cruz, Bob Berube, Hail to the Victors, Alexander Monslau. Oh, my pleasure. God, feels goddamn good to put some money in our pockets. PD Pick says UC Irvine, Wichita State, easy cash. Mr. Gokster killing it. PD Picks, Tomarino says Capitals on the road, continue to be great value. You've been bang on about that. Bang on about that. And we have Matt Randall's taint parlay for today. Wow, Duke, Iowa State, and Arizona State against the spread, on the money line. Excuse me. Duke, Iowa State, Arizona State money line, putting the streak in for a parlay. Yeah, man. Hey, man, you created the play of the day. It's everything that you want to do with them, my man. And it's become very successful. Same with the Big Dick Energy play of the day. That's rolling as well. Jeff Joseph, 3-1 in the turn. Jimmy 2-0 in NHL. Thanks to you. Thanks to us. Joy Jack says, great NHL plays yesterday. God damn, yeah. Dom Ricci went 2-0. Yeah, it was a fucking great day. Great day of NHL action. And, although I struggled in NCAA, you guys all destroyed it, which is great. And shout out to Vegas Gun. My God, do I love seeing that man in our chat. Shout out to Vegas Gun, whom I can't wait to spend more time with in my life. I need more Vegas Gun in my life. Okay, let's get to work. So this is how we're doing today's show. We have 6 NHL games. Now, 2 weeks ago when I went 6-0, I was very tentative on the card the next day, and I had a losing day. Now, I said to myself, don't be tentative, but I find it a tough card. So there's some spots that I like. I haven't made any bets yet, but I have nothing written in to my card, so we're going to have to work together here. I do think the Golden Knights take care of business. We have an interesting situation in NHL where we have tired teams going up against very rested teams. And I find that a little easier to cap in the NBA than I do in the NHL. Mally Mouse says Leafs and the over automatic. You're right. The Flyers have been going over and over and over and over. By the way, Babano's 3 overs at 6.5 went 2-1, so that was a success. The only one that didn't was that Florida San Jose, which missed by a half goal. So we're gonna need to do this again together. So we're gonna do the NHL card, then we're gonna break down the NBA card. And we're going to spend more time on the NBA card in the afternoon. And then we have Drew Martin joining us. Drew Martin is only Monday to Wednesdays usually, but I'm going to try to see if we can get him for Fridays for the next little while. And he's going to be on our show today because we got early games popping off. So Drew Martin will be here in about 35 minutes. So Ryan Nicholson's in the house. Anna Merrick's in the house. Dom Ricci. We got a great group. Let's get to work right now. Jim Rummy says, who's got the under on the Stars? I don't right now. Mr. Gozer says, Leafs puck line at plus 140. You hit it last night. Well, first off, and Don Ricci had a 5 push at the Stars game. Trust me, I was keeping a very close eye on that. Too bad that Ben Bishop got hurt, but that stuff happens. Don Ricci liking the Stars here. We'll talk, but let's start with Flyers Leafs. The issue I have with the Leafs puck line here, and I know it makes sense. I know that the Leafs are an angry group, but clearly the flu's going through the team, and it's probably almost done. But Brian Elliott is playing extremely well. And that's my only concern about this over. And it's enough of a concern that, I don't think I'm hesitant to take it. Let's take a quick look at SBRodds.com, money lines and totals. It's a 6.5, heavily juiced to the over. There's no way I'm touching it. And again, it's a 7 at Bovada. I'm sure the 7s are going to be coming. And you know how appealing those under 7s are to me. And with the way Elliott's playing, we'll talk. Toronto at minus 201. They're not playing good hockey at home. They don't make me want to jump on it. Oh, we got Joseph Mondalto, the degenerate play of the day. I'm going to be copying and pasting that. We got a new play of the day on the board. Remo says Elliott and Anderson confirmed. Tom Marino says Voracek out is a huge loss for Philadelphia. Well, he's back tonight. So he was a huge loss. So they're on the second half of a back-to-back, and they're going to have him rested, ready to go. And also, there's been a lot of talk about, and Tomario's nailed the problems on defense with the Flyers, but been a lot of talk, maybe a lack of leadership in that room. People have talked about that for 10 years in Philadelphia. But I love everything that Voracek is saying. So, but the way Brian Elliott is playing, this is certainly not a slam dunk over to me at 6.5, and I'm not touching it. Let's keep rolling. Sorry, there's going to be updates as we go on the situation happening here on the show, but there also has to be focus on these games. Gabe Pasky says, I'm really tempted to take all the games as home puck lines in NHL tonight. Parlay the poor prices, Leafs, Flames, parlay, and the rest of the home teams on the puck line. Very interesting, Gabe Pasky, and thank you for letting us know that. Sorry, I'm not sure who Tomor is saying don't care to... Sorry, I'm missing that. Tomor, what do you not? Oh, Elliott's played well, but I think Toronto comes strong. Top Set says, Jimmy, any horses tomorrow? I may, but what I need is a break, and I'm really going to be focusing my energy on the Florida Derby and that big day on March 30th. That's my plan right now. I just need to sit in the sunshine and get heavily intoxicated. Carter Hart not going to be in the line, or not going to be playing. Brian Elliott, Voracek back. The Flyers' power play is terrible without Voracek. They went 0-4 on the power play against the Capitals. Flyers are 0-12 with the man advantage over the last 5 games. 6-5-0 in the second half of back-to-backs this season, but they've been outscored 41-29. So those of you who are back in the Leafs puck line, you do know that this is a Flyers team that could give up if they're down big. Mr. Gokster says 5-2 or 5-3 Leafs. I get it. I mean, that's what's been happening lately in Leafs games at home, but not on the road. Michael Irving, you're not being rude, says not trying to be rude or intrude, but are we going to find out why Pete won't return? Listen, it's a personal thing going on right now, and I know that this is our show together, but while they are not saying anything, I'm not going to be the first person saying, "Oh, it was this." I'm not going to do that, and I'm never going to do that. Pete is a very, very close friend of mine who I speak to daily, and I'm not, there's stuff being figured out right now, and while that's going on and there's no public statements being made, I'm certainly not going to be the one who's going to do it at this point. But hopefully there'll be clarity at some point, and that's basically all I can tell you. Leafs coming off their second straight loss at home, 5-4 to the Chicago Blackhawks. They went down 5-0, 4-0 in the first period alone. Frederik Andersen gave up 4 goals on 14 shots. Garrett Sparks came in and played well. Is Frederik Andersen going to bounce back? Shout out to Unbelievable in the house. It was the first time Maple Leafs have given up 4 goals in a period this season. First time it's happened at home since December 23rd, 2008. They're continuing to be without Gardner and Dermott. Zach Hyman was out with the flu. They're hoping to get Hyman back. So all that said and done, I don't find this as easy as everybody else does. Mr. Gokster says, I'm not blinking here, Jimmy. I know I've been saying Leafs on the road, but I love the spot for Leafs. They haven't looked that bad, especially offensively. I can hear all that. I can hear all that stuff. I just don't know if I want to jump all over it. Shout out to Trainer Tone, says missing Pete big time. I get it. So let's keep rolling along here. So I'm not going to make a move at this point. But I can understand why you guys want to back the Leafs. I just feel like Elliott could take care of things. And so I'm just hesitant right now. Let's move on to Hurricanes at Blue Jackets. My God, are the Hurricanes playing good hockey all the way through their lineup. Peter Mrazek's playing spectacularly well. 2.53 goals against average, 908 save percentage, but that's up from the high 890s where it was at before. Hurricanes, their arrested group, coming off a 3-0 shutout win in Colorado on Monday night. You know that Mrazek hasn't started 3 straight games all season. I expect him to start here tonight. Carolina, 11-1-2 in their past 14 road games. In Mrazek's last 6 games, 6-0, 1.66 goals against average. Hurricanes had a lot of concern about Calvin DeHaan's eye, and, we've seen it all. We've seen it throughout hockey. I mean, there's certain plays that just people, hockey players and people, fans have nightmares about, and one is the stick in the eye, and Brian Berard's name comes up. Obviously, the skate blade to the throat is the scariest thing in all of hockey, and the Clint Malarchuk story there. And then obviously, when a prone player's head is going into the boards. I mean, those are the 3 scariest plays in hockey, and this happened to Calvin DeHaan. It was very scary, and they said his eye is responding as we would hope. We are optimistic that he will make a normal recovery without restrictions to his ability to play hockey in the near future. They brought up Hayden Fleury from Charlotte. He's looked okay in the 14 games he's played with, and we had our AHL expert, Mr. Gokster, talk about what a great team Charlotte is in the AHL. Michael Furlan's been out for a week. He might be ready to return. It's unclear if he will be ready to return because I think it is concussion issues, but we will see. So Jackets have been shut out 3 times this month, but they finally broke out of their offensive doldrums. 7-4 win over Boston on Tuesday night. Boone Jenner's hat trick. Ryan Zingle finally broke out with his new team, got a goal and 2 assists. He had just 3 assists in his first 8 games. Matt Duchene scored as well. He has just 2 goals and 3 assists and is a -2 in 11 games. I was looking at his numbers, and what a waste of elite talent. I couldn't believe that his highest scoring seasons ever is 70 points. 3rd overall pick in that draft, the 2013-2014 draft. And then I went over that whole draft. I was looking at drafts this morning. I got up really early, and he actually is the 2nd highest scorer in that draft behind John Tavares. So it's not being a complete bust, but with the amount of talent he has, I'm surprised he's 70 points is his highest total. I don't think he has it right here. Ryan Murray, week to week. So he's still out. He has a goal and 29 assists this season. And speaking of draft classes, I took Ryan Murray was 2nd overall in that 2012 draft class. That's the worst draft class in NHL history. The number 1 overall pick, Yakupov, not in the NHL. The number 4 overall pick, Griffin Reinhart, not in the NHL. What a bunch of bums in that draft class. The highest scoring player in that draft class is Philip Forsberg. He's got like 8 more points than Galchenyuk. What a bunch of bums. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Don Marino says Columbus has played to the level of competition. They've been going against top teams at home. Troy V, 4-0, won the NHL. Hit a parlay. What a night. Great stuff. Troy V in the house. Beautiful. Just Joseph said Jimmy was at a Kitchener Ranger game when Brian Bird had the accident. Very traumatic. Yeah, it's tough stuff. So Mally Mouse says Leafs are 10-1 to the over on game 4 in 6 nights. Wow, that's a very, very interesting stat. Jimmy Legg says always ride the trend. Leafs game over. And you know that's something I don't do. And it costs me a lot of money at times, and it makes me money at other times. So, and you guys know that. I have no problem getting in the way of trends, and I just don't ride them in the NHL. It's just something I've always done. So, shout out to Ray Hyder in the house. Love seeing him. Tom Marino says Carolina's playing great, but I think the values with Columbus here. Columbus has played well at home against top teams. They have, but I don't want to jump on this. I don't want to jump on this. I don't want to fade either team right now. That's about as simple as I can put it. And then you have to look at value. And when we go to a money line spot here, Columbus, lukewarm, minus 20, 127, minus 130. Just it's a tough spot here. It's just a tough spot. Shout out to Jorge, don't play. Thomas says Carolina has played great, but at this price, they look overvalued. You know, you have a point there. And Alex Ramirez says, I am here. I have arrived. I'm finally a low bagger. Hello, Jimmy from Laredo, Texas. Welcome, Alex Ramirez. God, I love that energy. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Okay, let's keep rolling along here because I feel like that's just a dangerous game. But I have no problem getting in front of the Stars train here. No problem. Anton Khudobin's been great all year. And I'm not saying that he's not going to be great here. The Stars are playing great defensive hockey, but the Golden Knights are rested, and that win was something that they needed. Stars are on the second half of a back-to-back. Impressive 4-0 win in Minnesota last night. Put them in third place in the Central. Bishop was hurt. Stars leading 3-0, so he kept that franchise record shutout streak intact. Man, what a spectacular streak. 230 minutes, 53 seconds. Khudobin stopped 14 of 15. Dallas won 2 straight, 6 of his last 7. They're also missing Zuccarello and Pitlick from the lineup. When they get Zuccarello was a very good move for them. Too bad he broke his arm. So Knights are coming off a 6-3 loss at Calgary on Sunday night. They're a fresh squad, and that loss helps them just understand that they're just not going to win out. William Carrier, a depth forward, bottom 6, dealing with a concussion. This is their third and final regular season meeting. I think that I would like to get in the way. I would like to get in the way here of, shout out to Jonathan Gore. Very kind words. Love hearing that. Mr. Ghost says, thought on the under 5.5 in Dallas Timbers. I don't like it. Now, why is Malcolm Subban set up in some of these sites right now? I wonder if you guys know, that was one thing I didn't check that I probably should have checked, why they had Malcolm Subban listed. It must be something going on with Marc-Andre Fleury. Let's just quickly check out because I know we got a lot of work to do today and just 25 minutes before Drew joins us so we can go over those 12 o'clock games together. So let's just quickly see. Yeah, that just doesn't make sense. There's no way they go back to Subban. Wow. Because Fleury's wife is so close to giving birth. Fleury's wife is giving birth. Probably has given birth at some point. So that's the reason. That's the reason. So, okay, because of that, yeah, Mally Mouse saying Fleury might be out for personal reasons. Okay, so that's a big difference. That's a big difference. Tom Marino says, I think the value's on Vegas. Vegas cleaned up against all but the top teams recently. Yeah, so that's another spot. I'd love to give you guys a ton of plays right now after a 6-0 night, but I need Marc-Andre Fleury in goal. I just need him in goal. And I think Malcolm Subban is a fine backup goalie who may someday be a good starting goalie. But listen, Richie Rich says Fleury listed because I have Subban listed on mine. I need to know, so I'm not going to make a move on the Golden Knights. Now, if Fleury's in goal, and Carlos Pro says take the over if Subban's in, Jimmy, I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right, Carlos and Rem. So basically, if Subban's in, I'll jump on the over 5.5, probably get a plus line. And you got Moss says Pens are absolutely the best team in the league. Hey, I implored you guys to take them at 20-1 and 11-1. 11-1 in the East and 20-1 to win the cup. Now, I only put 100 on each, so I'm not sitting here like, look at me, the genius. But I implored, and then they went on a losing streak. Could have got even better the week later. So I'm not saying that they're by far the best team in the league by any means, but nobody wants to play them. Nobody wants to play them. Tell you that. Wow, Rich says Fleury listed in 2 spots I follow. Well, I'm just going to wait a tiny bit longer. And Gate Pass Key says, would like to take Dallas on the puck line, but the price on the money line. Oh, but yeah, I like that. Christopher Comity says, no Fleury, no play. And you got Moss says, Malkin's best player in the NHL. He's playing his ass off. Malkin is playing very well, but there's just one man that's the best player in the NHL. And that man's name is Sidney Crosby. Jim Rummy says, value on Vegas. That's a joke. Yeah, against the way the Stars are playing right now, I would need to take a -1.5 if I was going to take the Golden Knights. But I just feel like even though the Stars are playing so great defensively, and that really comes down to Heiskanen being spectacular young defenseman and teaming up with Klingberg to be a very special deuce there at the point. Now, I get it. -140 value for a road team. You're absolutely right, Jim Remy. You're absolutely right. And Tormarino says Vegas line up from -128 to -140. That line move suggests Fleury's playing. But again, and we've talked about it before, Jim Remy, and we talked about it in the Stars last game when they were favored at -130, and I said, listen, I'm gonna. And there was a road game. Who were they playing? Buffalo. They're playing Buffalo, and yeah, we agreed there was no value on the Stars at -130. I took them on the puck line, and I got them +210 here on the show, +195, and they all cashed. The under cashed, the money line cashed, and the puck line cashed. And I'm not afraid to do that, But Jim Rummy, we got guys like Todd Petkoff last night. Guys like this are so important to our group and our analysis here. Rem Mo says nope, 97 up north, Jimmy. I feel you, Rem, but no, man, because it's not all about speed and offense. It's a 200-foot game. So personally, we need these guys to keep us sharp. And that's what Jim Rummy does, so I absolutely love his insights here. Hardy Party says, great night in NHL, Jimmy. I hung out with Alexander Vector and Timothy Verona at my bar last night in Tampa while they pounded beers. I had to share that. Wow. Hardy Party, that's wild stuff. We know that Ovechkin parties. Verona's a good player. That's awesome, Hardy Party. That's so dope. Thank you for letting us know about that. And Hardy Party, we got some great campers in the Tampa area. Hope that you get to go to Tampa Downs with our man Big Ragu at some point. Okay. Let's keep rolling. And Mr. Goku says, I'm on the under 5.5 Vegas, Dallas with or without Fleury. Wow, that's ballsy. That's very ballsy. Okay, so I'm not making a move there yet either. Let's go to Ducks Avalanche. Can we find an angle here? Avs coming off 3-0 shutout loss. A home shutout loss to the Hurricanes on Monday night. 12 games to play. Colorado trails the Arizona Coyotes by 5 points. And actually, looking back at that Knights Stars thing, if we don't want to pay attention to the goaltending, then we got to look at the special teams battle. And the Knights' power play is still not very strong. And that will change with Stone back in. They both have very strong penalty killing and weak power play. So I can understand that. Absolutely understand that. And you got Moss says Flyers are done. Maple Leafs will win big. So, And Blue Jackets send Hurricanes home unhappy. Very, very interesting. Oh, we have the sausage selection. Vinny Cornell's sausage selection is Davidson -6. Gate Pass Key says this is easy. -1.5. And this is why I wanted to talk about this stuff out loud. So let's talk about, is McKinnon and Rantanen going to find space without Landeskog in the lineup? Because that's what my biggest concern is. My biggest concern is that. So 12 games left. Colorado trails the Coyotes by 5 points. Final wildcard spot. Minnesota standing in the way as well. 2 points ahead of the Avs. Avs have won just 2 of 6. They've scored 3 goals over their last 3 games. Landeskog out 4 to 6 weeks. The Avs will have trouble scoring without him. Matt Nieto also done for the season with a lower body injury. Ducks are on the second half of a back-to-back, getting blitzed 6-1 at Arizona last night. And these are red flags to me, Gate Pass Key. And shout out to Clarence Souza in the house. Alex Ramirez says, Vegas tonight, Jimmy. Stone is a turning stone for the Vegas. Yeah, I feel you, Alex, but I do want to wait. Oh, we got the balls deep play of the day. Wow. Flyers, Leafs, over is the balls deep play of the day from Yellow Jesus. That is going to be a copy and paster under the sausage selection play of the day. All right. So these are red flags to me, Gate Pass Key. Colorado 1-4 last 5 head-to-head. It's a red flag to me with the Ducks coming off of it's such a bad game. 6-1. You got Moss saying JD Conference playing lights out. Yes, we can move on from the NHL, Drew Daddy. Absolutely. So that is that's uncomfortable for me here. So I'm not going to back it here at this point. And then let's just quickly touch on the Rangers-Flames game, and we'll move on right now. Rangers-Flames, I mean, the Flames are going to smash, but is there any value taking them on the -1.5 here is the question? The Flames have their offense together, and they want to keep it together. You know, you're getting a +100 or +101. You know, I'll take that. I'll take that. Flames have rebounded from the 4-game losing streak by exploding offensively. 15 goals in their last 2 games, coming off a 9-4 beatdown of the Devils. Goodrow, Monahan, Lindholm combined for 14 points last game, 6 alone for Goodrow. Backlund, Tkachuk, and Frolik are playing spectacularly well. Tkachuk should be a Vancouver Canuck, but no, we pick Yuli or whatever the fuck his name is. God. Mike Smith dealing with an illness, so Riddick's going to be in net. This Rangers team is just doesn't have much, and the Flames team will roll. You got Moss says Flames might score 7. Mr. Gokster says 10-foot pole game. Not for me. Not for me at all. Let's just take a quick look at what the total is as well. And can we trust this going on? And Gate Pasquis says Flames Leafs parlay makes sense. Flames are playing good hockey. It's juiced to the over 6. I think maybe just a Flames team total would be better. But listen, I'm going to take this -1.5. I'm going to take this -1.5, and then we're going to briefly touch on that ugly Devils-Canucks game in a second. So -1.5. I'm getting +101 at Pinnacle, and I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't mind that. I'll take it. -1.5, +101. We've seen the Flames can play possum for 2 periods and explode in the third if they need to. And then we have Devils Canucks. Mally Mouse says Flames are nothing. Yes, we're gonna get to those. We're moving quick here. Devils Canucks. I don't like betting on bad hockey teams at this time of year. The volatility increases. The Devils are also actually getting healthier. They could have both Sammy Vatanen and Mirko Mueller back on the ice tonight. Miles Wood and Nathan Bastian could also return, which would just leave Nico Hischier, Taylor Hall, and Jesper Bratt out of the line. So I do want to find out about that. I do want to find out if they're getting a bunch of new blood back into their lineup. The Canucks have only 5 wins in their past 18, and they dominated over a 5-minute stretch when the Rangers went down 2 guys. And so I think that 4-1 win is a little misleading. I mean, Pettersson's still doing very little in this game, and he was elbowed in the head by Kreider, who received a 5-game suspension for that. So, again, I want to see who's going to be in for the Devils. And I'm sorry to give you such a boring NHL card at this point, but there will be action. I will add action. I'm on the Flames -1.5 +101. And that's it. That is it. Let's roll. Let's roll. And Matt Randall says, Pete was and still is a huge part of this show. And the main reason we are all here, I will always be a low bagger. I like that. I like that a lot. And I missed what my guy Flip said, whom I love dearly. So I'm not exactly sure. But we got to keep rolling. Okay. So let's move on to NBA. And then PD Picks. Yeah, we're going to have Drew Martin joining us in about 10 minutes. And Gate Pasquis says my favorite play is the Canucks puck line. You know, I'd be happy to jump on the puck line. Yeah, we're going to have time. Don't worry. Shout out to Res Mob. I would be happy to jump on the Canucks puck line. I just need a little more information. I want to make sure that Pettersson's back in the lineup, because if Pettersson does look everybody in the eye and say, listen, I'm back, I'm not sitting out with a concussion, because he already had one this year, then I think that gives the Canucks some fire in their belly. But I'm also worried that the Devils are going to get a bunch of people back here. And so I just need to know about that. We'll talk about that on the Late Show. Let's move on to the association here, and we're going to break it down here. Coming off a 2-3 day in the NBA after going 8-1 over my last 9. So everything's fine. Everything's fine. Lakers, Pistons. Now, a couple things here. Clearly, LeBron's not going to be in the lineup. They said they're not going to play him in back-to-backs. Oh, we have the Big Dick Energy play today. My hail to the victors. Got that copied and pasted. We're going to go over all that. We're going to go over all that stuff, all the college plays of the day, all of our big spots here. Shout out to PD Picks, yes? Okay, let's keep rolling along. Let's keep rolling along here in the association. Okay, so we have this Pistons Lakers. There's a lot of angles now. I got lazy. Christopher Reese says love the over in that game. I got lazy yesterday with my analysis in NBA, and that happens to me at times. It happens to me in horse racing as well. When you read about the favorites and you're like, yes, that's why they're the favorite. I mean, that's just lazy capping. You got to look harder than that and not just say, oh yeah, this is a better team because. Ben Dover says Pistons first half and under full game, and that going against. And Gabriel Hernandez says Pistons first quarter. Now Pistons have been embarrassed in back-to-back games. Embarrassed. This horrible play. Now I faded them against Miami because I know what happens when Griffin feels an elbow in his ribs in his back. You know, he wants to write sketch comedy up in Montreal at the Just for Laughs Festival is what he wants to do. Lakers, Detroit, open at 219.5, and it's going down fast. And that's probably just because LeBron's. People know LeBron's not going to be in line. I don't know if that's been announced yet. Detroit opening at -9, now -11. Like, I had first quarter, first half full game here with question marks. But I do think that when LeBron's playing since Mally Mal. Wow. Then why did it go from -9 to -11? Very, very interesting. Tom Marino says Lakers have no front line. Detroit should be strong here. Michael Irvelina says fade Lakers every game. Lakers on the second half back-to-back. They lost to the Raptors 111-98 last night. They dropped 6 of their last 7. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram done for the season. Chandler, Stevenson are likely to sit out. They told us that LeBron wasn't going to play second half of back-to-back. So, interesting. The Pistons have played terribly last 2 games. We talked about that. They lost Brooklyn 103-75 on Monday, and then lost to Miami 108-74 on Wednesday. Against the Heat, Miami scored 21 points to open up the second half. We're up 21-0. Detroit's 8-point third quarter, lowest scoring quarter since November 2018. And Drummond was very disappointing in that game too. His franchise record tying streak, 19 consecutive double-doubles came to an end. And 5 points, 9 boards, and he fouled out midway through the fourth. And I give up fouls there. I don't want to play any more fouls. PD Pick says Blake drops 30. Reggie Jackson sprayed his right ankle, fourth quarter, stepping on Pachulia's foot. So if he's out, Ish Smith, and God, hope you don't have to see Jose Calderon on the floor. Bruce Brown has right ankle discomfort, and Kennard could also get minutes at the point. Tom Marino says Lakers will likely declare him out. So I thought that 2-point move was saying LeBron's out. You know, Peter Pick says they're back home. Yeah, they're back home. Where they're 21-13. Now, I need to know about LeBron. It's just that simple. PD Pick says I wouldn't take 11 by any means. DJ Big Boss says Lakers fans mad at LeBron. Keems the Man says Pistons lose the games they were supposed to win, especially when the money there. They came back in the Cleveland game, though. I see value, maybe Lakers first half. Okay, I'm going to wait and find out about LeBron, but we're going to make moves on this game for sure tonight. Kings, Sixers. Here's another spot. Did we just jump on the Sixers here? Kings playing second half of a road back-to-back. And it was a very tough game. They lose 126-120 at Boston on Thursday, and they don't cover the spread. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and Harrison Barnes all played 35 or more, led by De'Aaron Fox at 37. Marvin Bagley was able to return, but only played 19 minutes. He's going to be a game-time decision. I don't know if they play him here, and they probably shouldn't. You know, so Kings are 33-34, under 500, 5 games out of the finals playoff spot in the West. It's not happening. 76ers looking to complete a sweep of their 3-game homestand. They did not look good against the Cavs. 106-99 win on Tuesday, but they're rested. And they lost to Sacramento. Remember, they beat Golden State 113-104, and then went in Sacramento and lost 2 days later. And Jimmy Butler's not playing well. 4 for his last 23 from 3 in his last 15 games. Ben Simmons also sick. Probable, but sick. This is a spot where, again, and Jimmy Legs like in the under in Detroit, LA. Again, this is another spot where I need to know a couple more things here. But I do like them. Keems Man says Kings cover. Torino says, and Ben Dover likes Kings under. And so, yeah, the Kings covered. That's what I said. I lost. Sorry, did I not make that clear? I had Celtics -7.5. I bet it at 7, and I lost. Philadelphia was flat at home, says Torino, against Cleveland. I think they come strong here. I think they do too. Let's just take a quick look at the Sixers spot here, and Drew will be joining us shortly. Sixers here, Sacramento is -9.5. PD Pick says Kings cover. My man Beats in the house says fade Lakers, Pistons all day. I like Brian Arpin's play Sixers first half. And, you know, Simmons has been dealing with this respiratory infection for a while, so I don't think it's the worst thing. It's not this debilitating illness that he's going through. So, you know what? I'm going to start with that. I think I'm going to start with Sixers first half. Now, one thing I don't like doing, though, is I don't like fading teams on the second half of a back-to-back early. It's late where you want to fade them. And it happened again in that Pacers Thunder game last night where I just left money on the table. So I guess maybe I'm not going to take Philly first half. Unbelievable, like Sixers first quarter. You know, I'm gonna next game we're gonna break down those college games very shortly here. Drew's gonna join us. You know, I'm gonna hold off on the Sixers play too. I'm gonna make plays on this card. I just don't want to force them right now. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to keep rolling. Keems Man says, with Embiid back, I don't see the Kings winning on a back-to-back on the Eastern trip. Arrested Philly squad. Sweaty Butcher like in the sack. Philly first half over. Yeah, I find that over appealing as well. And it's moved up a little bit. Opened at 118.5. Now it's 119 in some books. All right, let's keep rolling along. And shout out to B. Diddy in the house. Okay, Hornets at Wizards. Okay, I said all week. All week I said the Wizards were going to sweep this 3-game homestand. I took had a lot of people against me in that Magic spot. They won by 10. I had a lot of people against me in that Sacramento spot. They won by 5. And they're going to win here. I go 6. They won by 6. They're going to win here again. And at 3.5, is it still 3.5? Sorry, let me get to it here. At 3.5, I want it. And I don't care if, and Daryl Lyle says JJ might rest. Really? Oh, wow. King Rail in the house. Wonderful to see you. Says, I really like under in New York and Spurs. Wow. Very interesting. And thank you so much for joining us, King. I know you got family stuff going on right now. So from all the LoBaggers and from the royal family and from everybody at SBR, we just want to send love and strength, energy to your family. And just, we have so much love for you, King. So thank you so much for joining us. So all that said, I'm going back to the Wizards train. Like I said, nonstop all week. They're going to win 3 straight. They're playing with an enormous amount of heart. Thomas Bryant stepped up after a meeting with the coach. That's a big deal. They're starting to get boards. Trevor Ariza has a sore right knee. Trevor Ariza can not play, and I'll be fine. They're handling it all. Trevor Ariza was 1 for 6 from the field in 22 minutes. His knee's fucked. So let's just get him out. Hornets, Wizards meet for the second time in 8 days. The Wizards have revenge. Revenge. Makes me think of Jay Money. Hornets have lost 2 straight, 12-16. They had a ton of injuries. Now they're going to have Tony Parker back. He rested against the Rockets. They're going to have Michael Kidd Gilchrist, maybe or maybe not. Batum will be back. Marvin Williams should be back. Zeller won't be back. Listen, I've said it all week, and I'm standing by it. I'm taking the Washington Wizards minus 3.5. I'm getting a plus 102 at Pinnacle. That means there's going to be 3s on the board at some point. I don't care. Minus 3.5, plus 102. Book it. Let's keep rolling. Bucks at Heat. Heat coming off possibly the best win of the season. 108-74 at home over the Pistons on Wednesday night. 4 times. What defense this team can deliver. And now they have Dragic healthy. This Heat team could be a dangerous squad moving forward. Do I want to get in the way of the Bucks? I don't know. Probably not. But they've defended this Bucks team well. They've defended them very, very well. So 4 times this year, an NBA team has held an opponent to 8 points or fewer in a quarter. 3 of those have been done by the Heat defensively. Dwayne Wade, questionable. That's fine. Bucks are coming off an easy 130-113 road win at New Orleans that I wasn't on, sadly. What a mistake that was. Milwaukee holds a 3-game lead over the Raptors in the East. Miami will end their 3-game... the Bucks are going to end the 3-game road swing. Open with that loss to San Antonio, but that was a terrible travel situation for them. Now, the Heat have great perimeter defense. And the last time they beat the Bucks in Miami on December 22nd, they held the Bucks to 9 of 43 from 3. The Bucks destroyed them as a revenge on January 15th. But Antetokounmpo has struggled in both those games. So Miami Heat has impressive defense. And Torino says Miami's done a great job on Giannis every time they played. But I don't trust Miami's offense. I'd lean under. That under is a good look. Let's see what the total's moved on this. Milwaukee, Miami, it's gone down a half point. Yeah, I think that's a nice look. Do we jump on it? Yeah. Rob Portwando says Milwaukee minus 5 in the under. Okay. I like it. I'm jumping in on the under right now. Miami Heat is playing spectacularly defensively. And they know that's their bread and butter. So under, I'm getting 220 still on the board at Bovada, a minus 115. And is that half point worth 10 cents? Probably not. And these half points are important, but I guess it's just minus 150. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take the, is it worth, it's not worth 10 cents. Half point? You know what? It's just minus 115 here. I'll decide how I'm going to actually bet it afterwards. So I'm going to take the under 220. Also, one of the best parts of our show, I mean, not you guys, the chat's the best part of this show, but was the transparency with record keeping. So that's coming back next week, all the records. Now, I'm going to have 2 records because I'm going to have one up in OP and one after. But so that's coming back next week. So under 220 minus 115. And Petey Pick says Bagley back too. I'm not sure if he's going to be back. I wouldn't play him, personally. All right, so we're going to just touch on these last couple games and then get into college basketball with our man Drew Martin. And Drew Daddy says, I always buy to a full point. Good heads up. Thank you. I'll see how I'll bet it, but, because you can get minus 105 line shopping SBR odds, so that's the question. Sunset Rockets. Rockets' 9-game winning streak came to a halt in that 106-104 loss to the Warriors. A lot of talk about the Rockets right now. I actually see a problem here, and D'Antoni and, they're going to have to figure this out. So the Rockets were out-rebounded 44-31 by the Warriors. So they can either have that lineup of Capella, Tucker, and Fareed, but then they don't get the three-point shooting that they want. Or they can go small and take a ton of three-point shooting and get out-rebounded. And Fareed rebounds, but defensively he's there and not there. That's a problem. If Capella is alone to shoulder the whole load rebounding, they're in trouble. They've got to figure this out. Gio Mercedes says, can I get a birthday pick? That was Pete. But happy birthday, Gio Mercedes, a great, great LoBagger. I will give you my NHL play today. That's what I will give. But that was something that Pete made very special. And if I try to follow that up, that will burn me. You don't do that with the gambling gods. Melly Mel says Rockets will probably clean out of the gate. Bend over like in the under 224.5. This is the third game of a 4-game homestand for the Rockets. Generally a nice time for a basketball team. Suns coming off that 114-97 loss to Utah. They still won 5 of 7. DeAndre Ayton scored 2 points against the Jazz. 2 points against Rudy Gobert. And I had him in my Heritage prop bet of the day against him. I went against him. I didn't have him. I went against that. I had Eric Gordon, who just had a nice game. And so DeAndre Ayton has shown a lot of character, a lot of heart. I think he bounces back here. Tyler Johnson writes, Neen Soreness is questionable. TJ Warren out again. Yeah, I like the Rockets, but do we want to jump on this huge, huge favorite spot? Let's just quickly check out what they are, because we are going to be grabbing our man Drew right now here on the show. So I'm looking at this. I'm seeing minus 13. That's just too many points. King Rail has a 420 birthday pick, under 215.5. And yeah, Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable. So is Gay. Gay's, I'll go over that in a second, because I believe Gay's back. But we'll talk about that. That's great. So I'm going to copy and paste King Rail's 420 birthday pick here. All right, copy and paste. All right. Copy paste. Okay, let's get through these last couple of games, because we got a lot to talk about here. Blazers, Pelicans. Love to hear what King has to say about his Blazers in this spot. Portland's won 7 of 10 games. Damian Lillard says, I love where we are. It feels like we are a complete team. Feels like our style of play is very sustainable for us. We can be successful like this. I like that about the way things are right now. Portland began a 3-game road trip by smashing the Clippers. King was all over that. He was offering anybody in the chat a $200 bet straight up. They smashed. Now, Clippers were on the second half of back-to-back, but they were only 2.5 for 3-point favorites. McCollum missed his first 7 shots of that game, then hit 8 straight. I love CJ. The Pelicans have lost 4 straight. They attempted 47 3-pointers and made just 10 of them in that 130-113 home loss against Milwaukee on Tuesday. Alfred Payton has had a triple-double each of the last 2 games. He drives me crazy. He just picks and chooses when he wants to play. He's played just 30 games this year because of multiple injuries. Again, I wonder if that's enough, if he's rehabbing or if he's just sitting on the couch playing Xbox. New Orleans will again be without Drew Holiday, Etuan Moore. They're playing bad. They're playing very, very bad here. And are the Blazers the spot? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Matt Collins says a solid pick is Sixers-Kings first quarter over. Sixers score a point in the first half. Score points first half. Clips. And the Kings don't play good defense, and only 30 from each team is something that I definitely see happening. That's a great call, Matt. I'm going to copy and paste that. I think that's a really nice look, because I'm not worried about backing or getting offense from Sacramento in the first quarter. I'm worried about getting offense from them in the fourth quarter. Okay, so let's just keep rolling along here. Now we have Knicks Spurs, and we come to this spot on the card that is King Rail's favorite play. Rafa, can we get Drew ready to rock and roll? We're going to have to make moves here. Portland is 7.5-point favorites, by the way, on the road against New Orleans. And then we have this New York spot, total at 215.5. It's moved a half point to the under in some spots here. So Joe Ramirez says Rockets could be a max bet, but I'd like to hear from King Rail. I need more time. I hear that. Spurs have won 6 straight, hottest team in the NBA. They won 8 straight at home. 112-105 victory over the Mavericks in Dallas. I had that, but the Dallas Mavericks got me back in that double up spot. I tried to get on them yesterday, so I ended up 2-3 on the card. Spurs have turned the quarter. Derek White, very important to this team. 23 points for the Spurs. Bertans played well, very, very well as well. Bend over. That is the first quarter that Matt Collin is talking about. And Torino says, I'm on Portland. I think Holiday is out today. He is. New Orleans falling apart in fourth quarters with Davis on a minute limitation. I think that's a nice spot. But I'm going to wait a little bit. Alexander Monslau says, Rockets are tied for third with the Portland OKC. No way Rockets don't show up today. I get it. So with Dennis Smith Jr. hurt, we're going to see a lot more of Moutier, and he's looked pretty good. 21 points off the bench in that loss at Indiana, and they look pretty good there. And they're playing more defensively, even though Ntilikina is ruled out already. I think that's a very interesting look that King's on. I'm going to copy and paste it and look at it further, and that's King Rail's 420 play of the day. And then we have Bulls Clippers, and Rayhan Hyder liking Knicks plus the points. Thomas says Spurs have been great at home, but not against weak teams laying big numbers. I think Spurs are flat here. Wow, interesting look and great feedback, Tomar. Bulls Clippers. Levine practiced yesterday at UCLA, so he's expecting to play. They're expecting to have him back. Lamont Williams says, do you like the Avalanche or Toronto better in NHL tonight? I guess if I had to pick one of them, well, that's tough, Lamont. I'm going to need to think about that for a bit. King Rail says Blazers first half is a solid play. I have a funny feeling we don't cover full game. Interesting. Very interesting. Bulls are looking for a bounce-back performance from marketing. He looked awful. 4 for 17 from the floor. 0 from 8 from 3 in that loss. 123-107 to the Lakers. And they had a 20-point lead early in the second. And he's been slumping for a while. He's now 9 for his last 40 from 3. That's over his last 6 games. Gallinari was rested against the Blazers. He's going to be ready to roll. Lou Williams has increased his scoring average each month this season. You know, I like this Clippers squad. I think they're rested, but 9-point favorites. I don't know if I want to take that. We are talking about who we're going to get. Yes, we're going to jump on that right now. We're talking about, because King's got some family stuff that he's taking care of. So I'm not entirely sure who we're going to have helping me with NBA on the Late Show, but I'm reaching out to a couple of people, so we will see. Without further ado, we have 12 minutes before tip-up in college basketball. Drew Martin, NCAA basketball expert, is joining us. Drew, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're so busy. First off, how you doing, my man?
Jimmy, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always a fun time with you and the LoBag family. Maxwell Smart's doing well as well. We got the 9:30 show for a half hour, the 4 o'clock in the afternoon show for a full hour. So you're right. It's a busy time. It's conference tournament time. We got the main tournament coming up on Thursday, Selection Sunday, this Sunday, which is also St. Patrick's Day. So it's going to be a heck of a Sunday. Might be a little blurry there towards the end of the Sunday. But to all the LoBag family out there, thanks for having me, and excited to break down some games with you, Jimmy.
I am too. Let's get right to it. We have 2 games popping off in 11 minutes. Most importantly, Connecticut, Houston. Houston opening up as 10-point favorites. They're now 12-point favorites. And let me just quickly look at SBRodds.com for the total here. I'm just going to spread and totals here. And the total is stuck at 140, but bookmakers dropped it down to 138. That's very strange. A bookmaker doesn't usually lead the way with a market move. Connecticut at Houston, Drew. What are you thinking here?
Well, Jimmy, the story in this is the total, and it's getting hit as we speak. I just jumped on the over at 137.5. UConn, ever since Jalen Adams went down with his injury, they slowed the pace. They were a big under team for a while, over a month. You could cash big unders on UConn, also fading them as well. And then he just comes back, and sure enough, they hit 3 overs. You know, with 2 of them without him, 1 of them with him, and you could just tell their offensive pace has been faster. I've lost on a couple of them, so I just jumped on this over. It was as low as 137.5, the low water market Bet Online, just like 2 minutes before he came on, tweeted it out, and now it's getting hit towards the over. So that 138 at bookmaker that you just said, I like it towards the over, really just because UConn has changed their pace of play offensively. They got their point guard back, and you know, Houston, yeah, their defense is good. That could be a problem, and obviously that it might not get to the higher 130s, but just as far as pace of play metrics, I like the over in this early game.
Wow, and as we're saying that, bookmaker jumped it up to 139, and Pinnacle just jumped up to 139.5. So the over is being steamed right now. Very interesting. Shout out to Matt Collin. Yeah, Matt Collin, I'm going to copy and paste that Knicks first quarter play and look into it for sure. Wow. Jonathan Gore likes first half UConn full game, Houston. Chris Postal says it's going under in UConn. Matt Collins says I took over in Houston, UConn. Wow. So you are on the over in this spot, and it's being steamed as we speak. 140.5 at Heritage, so they're leading the way to the over. Wow, that's interesting. And you jumped on that at 137?
Yeah, well, 137.5, and that was about 10 minutes ago. So you're right. So obviously a big group out there kind of just, I'm guessing, hopefully saw what I saw, and they jumped on it as well. So that's what's moving this lineup. And as we know, college basketball totals, it does not take $1 million to move this thing, 3 or 4 points. So, I mean, in March, in conference tournament, and especially in the tournament, it does take more money. This isn't a November move by any means, but, it's not the end of the world to see a 2.5, 3-point move here.
Wow. It's being steamed. Oh, wow. Bookmaker just went back to 138. But Bovada just jumped to 140. Pinnacle at 138.5. Wow. Bet Online's at over 139, but minus 126. Oh, this is just telling me to take the over here. It's telling me to take the over. And
there's huge opinion.
It's still climbing, Jonathan Gore says. Got it 139, but it has me nervous. I'm going to jump on the over with you guys. I mean, that's just what the market's telling us. And Bookmaker right now, back to a 138. So I'm going to grab 138 at minus 110, and I'm going to have to bet it at some point in the next 8 minutes. Let me just write this down. I'm jumping on it. UConn, Houston, over 138, minus 110, and I'll see what my book is hanging right now. Okay, let's keep rolling along. We have Rhode Island, VCU. This total is dropping as we speak. Open at 131.5. It's now at 130. And I believe VCU is a pretty decent-sized favorite. I'm just switching back over on my site here, back on SBR odds. Minus 7.5 or minus 8. Pinnacle leading it towards the 7.5. Rhode Island, VCU. Drew, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, VCU's been on a tear in the A10. These are two teams I really haven't bet much of, but with VCU, running up-tempo, tournament team, the Rams, and they've won, 10 in a row or so. It's a team I'm not really looking to step in front of. They don't really rely on the 3-point game, so their volatility shouldn't be too high. They should be able to handle Rhode Island. I mean, Rhode Island, it's a team that, they can't shoot the ball that well. And as far as backing, offensive inefficient teams, I'm just not a real big fan of it. Actually, when you look at their 3-point percentage, they are, I believe, the worst team in the country. So they don't really shoot the ball well from far, but they do have talent enough to, put 5 wins in a row together in the A10, also beating LaSalle in the A10 tournament. I just don't think it's enough. I mean, I haven't bet this game personally, Jimmy, but if you made me bet it, gun to head, I would lay it with VCU. Gabriel
Hernandez saying VCU first half. Wow. Robbie Tagaloa liking the under in Rhode Island, VCU. Tom Regis said, I think Max liked VCU first half and the game. Is he in here? Yeah, he's in here. Let's hear what he likes here. Hoops59 says, Rhode Island looked strong yesterday. Torino says, I leaned Rhode Island first half. VCU has been the best first half team in college, inflating the line. That's an interesting move. Maxwell Smartless says, I like VCU first half over and full game under. Wow. What interesting breakdowns here. Liking the full game under. And the market is saying to follow both those things. My book's hanging a 140 in Connecticut, Houston. Drew, would you pull the trigger?
It's moved, man. But yeah, I like the over. Jalen Adams is back, a little bit more up tempo. So yeah, I'd bet the over.
All right, I'm on it, and I find the under appealing too. Man, this is tough. Well, we got a marquee matchup with Ohio State, Michigan. Here at my book, just what I have to deal with right now, it's at 11. Michigan State 11-point favorites, but minus 105 there. So more juice if you want Ohio State plus 11. Ohio State looked good against Indiana yesterday. Almost fell apart late, but kept their shit together. Weston's a beast down low, and they are playing with unity, The total is at 133.5 right now in my book. What are you thinking, Ohio State, Michigan State?
I like Sparty here. I like him big, Jimmy. This is probably on the early slate, my biggest bet. I just think Sparty, it's a team that overall I could see him cutting down the nets at the end. Me and Max talked about it on the early show. Really good point guard play. I think Winston's one of the more underrated players in all of the country. It's just a team I'm not looking to step in front of. I think you're going to be hard pressed to make money betting against Michigan State. It's just one of those teams. So I have no interest in betting Ohio State against Michigan State. Michigan State's really good offensive efficiency. They hit threes, they hit twos, they hit their free throws. They play great defense, very well coached under Tom Izzo. And it's not only Winston, they got other role players as well. And down the stretch, yeah, they had that 3 losses in a row where they weren't playing well. They've bucked that trend, and that was back in January, early February. So since then, they've played very, very well, only losing that one hiccup to Indiana. Other than that, beating good teams in the Big Ten. So, yeah, it's Michigan State for me. I think that, it's a team that can win the national championship. I know laying doubles against the Ohio State team that, like you said, just did play a good game. But Indiana and Michigan State, in my opinion, are 2 different animals. So I would lay it here with the favorite.
Laying it with the favorite. What do you think about this total here?
I don't have too strong of an opinion. Ohio State's not really going to push it, and I think Michigan State will control the pace with the better, the more talented overall team and the more talented point guard. It's just a matter of how much they'll look to push the pace. The total, sitting at 133.5. It has gotten a little under money. If you made me bet it, Jimmy, and I haven't bet it personally, I would be on the over at this point, just because Michigan State, they can push it, they can score. I think that they do win by 15-ish points, and I think that this could go over. So yeah, if you made me bet it, I'd be on over 133.5.
Wow, great breakdown. Sorry, I'm just copying and pasting a ton of stuff too from our guys here. So I jumped on Rhode VCU full game under. Going to run with Robbie Tagaloa and Max, and that was 130.5 at -105 at Heritage. So I've got 2 totals in play early. Robbie Tagaloa is leaning Michigan State, Ohio State over, and this total stayed around its opening line, pretty much all day here. Tomino says I'd lean over. Ohio State is shooting well, and MSU likes to push the tempo. Lamont Williams, what about Michigan State full game under? So he's wondering about the other side. Tomer said it's just another game for Michigan State. Ohio State is playing to get in the tournament. Jonathan Gore says need Michigan State to not turn the ball over. OSU doesn't turn you over. And Lamont Williams, max bet of the day, UCF Memphis. First half under 71. And Robbie Tagaloa letting us know that he's got the total with his model at Houston, UConn, total at 142 combined points. And PD Pick says, you said it, Drew, Sparty rolls. Sparty rolls. Beautiful stuff. Let's talk about the next game on the card that's going to be early. It's Florida LSU. LSU opening -2.5, now 3.5 and 4s on the board, and 4.5 at Bovada. Interesting. This total climbing a little bit from 135 over to 136 or 136.5. Drew, Florida, LSU.
Yeah, Jimmy, this is a tricky handicap. LSU's got everything going on with their coaching situation, and now having to lay points with that, it's not really a situation I'm interested in. Going against the Florida team, that's a tricky handicap in themselves. They do play good defense, so laying points to this Gators team, coming off a solid win. I mean, Arkansas isn't that good, but being able to put up, near 70 points against any SEC team isn't terrible. So they were able to put the ball in the basket, something I would look to carry over, but LSU is kind of a different animal. So, man, this is just a tricky handicap, something I'm not involved in, the coaching situation. And LSU can hit their free throws, so you got to give them credit there. They could cover the spread. So can Florida, though. So a competitively priced game down the stretch, both teams hitting their free throws. It's just Florida can't score that well. So trusting Florida against a talented LSU team isn't something I want to do. But at the same time, I don't want to lay points to a Florida team that can play defense and, quite honestly, needs this game. I'm not like a bubble connoisseur here, but they're right there. This game would likely put them in. If they lose this game, they might be sweating on Selection Sunday. So I think there's more riding for the Gators. It's just I don't think they're talented enough offensively. So all those kind of contrasting parts, I'm not involved.
There's a lot of moving parts. Twiley Lattes has got LSU -3 last night. Hoops 590 says Florida plus 4.5. I bet. You got Moss says give me Florida plus 155. Let's ride. And A-Town's play of the day, 2-0 in his last two. It started off poorly. Started off 0-4, but we believed in you, A-Town. And thank God that you and Max were on the Hilltoppers and got me on them, because I finished last night strong in college basketball after getting destroyed all day long. So thank you. Golden Nug saying thanks. Jimmy, we're on the over in that UConn Houston spot. All right. Our E Low says I'm 15-3 capping MSU this year. Says take OSU. Nick Ward coming back is going to muck things up for MSU. Slow the tempo down. Caleb Weston eats his lunch. This is coming from a diehard Spartan fan. Ooh, that's a good comment, man. That is a good comment. Wow. Shout out to E-Low. I like that shit. Twatty Lattes plays Temple minus 2.5. VCU minus 8. Davidson minus 6. So Twatty Latte is on Davidson minus 6. And you know who else is on Davidson minus 6? Vinny Cornell sausage selection play of the day. Davidson minus 6. And he's on Central Michigan plus 12.5. Abilene minus 4.5. LSU minus 3. And Prairie View minus 3. And then Tom Marino says I'd lean LSU. LSU never wins a conference. Winning a conference tournament would be big for them. And Elo says, I'm telling you, man. Wow, that was wildly interesting stuff. Elo, what do you think of the total in that game? Even though it's about to pop off any second. Well, great breakdowns, Drew. I'm loving this very, very much. God, such a huge asset to us. Let's move on to UAB Old Dominion. Looked like UTSA was going to take care of business for us yesterday. And then UAB got us in the old drink hole. Right in the old bottom mouth, in the old prison pocket. Old Dominion opening at 5-point favorites, now 4-point favorites. Another low total, 125, and it's being bet down to 124 at Pinnacle at 5 dimes, 124.5 at Bet Online. Drew, UAB Old Dominion.
Jimmy, do you mind if I just ask you, what is prison pocket?
Sure. It's where you hide things when you go into prison. And we only have one prison pocket, and it's your brown eye, Drew. It's your bottom mouth. Do you catch my drift?
Yeah, I do. Thank you. I've never heard that term before, but I got all the other terms. I just wanted to make sure, so when I use it in the future and I steal it from you, I can at least define it if somebody asks. So thank you for that, Jimmy.
No worries. UAB, also, when you go to prison, you'll know the terminology and where to hide stuff. But let's hear you break down UAB and Old Dominion, Drew, my man.
All right. Monarchs, Blazers, two teams I really haven't bet too much, so I'll be real quick. Old Dominion, slow pace, though. So is UAB, and both teams not necessarily, lights out from the floor. In that situation, pretty much, if you heard me talk before, also UAB doesn't hit their free throws, so I always lean to the under in these situations, and looks like the market here posted a 124. It has been hit to a 1.5 towards the under. I just see not many possessions, longer possessions with both teams not going to push the pace, and both teams not very offensively efficient. So I'm usually not scared to go under 130, even sub 120. So we're getting mid 120s here. I like the under in this. I haven't bet it yet, but might get there before tip.
Yeah, the under, those low unders concern me, but I get it. I get it. And if you were forced, if I give you a free play on the side, what would you back?
The Monarchs. Yeah. Old ODU. I'd go with the Monarchs.
And then we have Memphis UCF, and we've had some interesting notes on this already with Lamont Williams saying his max bet is the UCF Memphis first half under 71. The under 71 there in Memphis UCF. You know this UCF squad very well. You know them inside and out, Drew. They open up at -2, now they're -3s. There's a 3.5 at Bovada, 3.5 at Heritage. This total opens up at 147, and it's stuck there all day. Drew, Memphis, UCF.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I'd be careful going under, although I don't really have too big of an opinion on the total. It's more Memphis, they have that pressure defense. They'll play it pretty much all game long. Going against UCF, a lot of people know Taco Fall. And obviously he's an issue down low, standing 7'6". It's not something you can practice for, prepare for Memphis. They have played him before. It's just UCF is more than just Taco Fall. They have good guards. They don't turn the ball over too much at all. So it's a team I would look to bet against pressure defense. I think they will be able to score. BJ Taylor, Aubrey Hawkins. It's just two guys that can take take control of the ball, get the ball out, and they're not going to turn it over too much against Penny Hardaway's defense there. So I like UCF in this. I think UCF advances, and I'd look to bet on them today.
Wow. Interesting breakdown. Kylie Reynolds liking Memphis, and I guess he's buying a couple points there because I've never seen it quite as high as 5. Very, very interesting. Shout out to Dom Ricci. Thank you for joining us. Interesting. Okay, I wouldn't mind just touching on the games that are going on just before your next show with Maxwell Smart. So the next one up is Nebraska, Wisconsin. Wisconsin opening at -7, -7.5 now, and -8's on the board. So Pinnacle's the only book on my front page that hasn't moved to the 8. This total opened up at 127 low. It's gone down to 126, 125.5 at BetOnline. Drew, Nebraska, Wisconsin.
Yeah, two teams that I don't think are really going to push the pace at all. And Wisconsin, I think they'll control the pace with Ethan Haft down low. He's a tough guard for Nebraska. For me, it would be the Badgers, but I'll say this, Jimmy. I think I've been wrong every time I bet Nebraska, so I've pretty much given up. In this business, if you're wrong, just kind of stay away from it. So the Nebraska Cornhuskers are that team for me, along with other teams, but they're the one that sticks out in the Big Ten for me. So I'm staying away from this game, but if you made me bet it, I would be on Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's so vital to do that, and it's the reason why I beat NBA every year. Now, I beat NBA pretty marginally, not enough to make a living off of it, but it's because I see the teams I need to stay away from. They confound me. I just stay away from them, and there's a bunch of them. Although I took the Jazz and won with them last night, and took the under and won with it, so after a while, maybe you start figuring some of them out. Auburn, South Carolina, Drew, total at 147, now down to 146.5, and Auburn 8-point favorites. Your alma mater, Drew. You going to back them here?
No, I'm not. I think South Carolina, Silva down low, is a bad matchup for Auburn. Auburn's getting hot, so there's kind of contrasting views, contrasting handicaps here. I believe they're 4-0 in March, 3-0-1 ATS. So Bruce Pearl's got the guys heating up at a good time of year. It makes me look to bet on them, especially, they're a type of team that's streaky. They can beat the good teams and then they can lose to the bad teams just because they're so reliant on the 3-point shooting. They're going to go up tempo, up pace. Bryce Brown and company, they're talented. It's just they're volatile, man. Sometimes they don't show up, and if that 3 ball is not landing, Auburn can lose some games. So going against South Carolina, who had a rough start to the season. Silva down low is a terrible matchup for him, especially because Wiley's banged up. So I would not lay points to the South Carolina team, and that's coming from a guy wearing an Auburn shirt right now. So no, it'd be South Carolina or pass. I'll probably just watch this as a fan, though.
Wow, you got Moss backing your South Carolina play. I find that very appealing. South Carolina as a big dog here. Very, very appealing. Okay, and total-wise, Auburn's so tricky whether they're hot or cold from outside. Does that make you not want to play totals with them?
Yeah, I mean, I would look towards the over, especially recently, because if you've watched their game, they're definitely, passing the ball. They're looking to just push it every time they get it. So it's always tough to bet those type of teams under. And, South Carolina's not a team I've been involved with a lot, but I guess you could make the argument for the under with South Carolina just because of the low post play. But Auburn is just too tough to bet unders, especially if those threes are falling. You can rip your ticket up. So no real strong opinion on the total. But if you made me bet it, I'd be on the over.
And then there's 2 other games that are going to pop off before your next show with Max here today. God, I just love your show so much. But Grambling State, Prairie View, A&M. Prairie View opening at -3, now -3.5. And Twatty Latte liking Prairie View in this spot. Grambling State, Prairie View. What do you think here?
I can be real short. These are 2 teams I haven't bet on a lot. These type of teams, I just kind of rely on Max in our show. So I don't spend much time on it. I try to concentrate on the teams I know a lot about. So I don't have much to say about these 2 teams.
No problem. And a couple things here. Jake Cross's Filet-O-Fish play of the day is the under 136 in Florida LSU. And FSU Chatfield's Big Cojones play of the day is Western Kentucky Moneyline. And that's the last game before that's going to go off before your next show. Southern Miss, Western Kentucky. Money coming in on Southern Miss. They open as a pick 'em. Now they're -1.5. This total stuck at 132 all day. Western Kentucky saved me yesterday. Do we come back and jump on Western Kentucky again here, Drew?
I think so. It's a game because North Texas, was kind of playing a team I was looking to bet, and Kentucky or Western Kentucky coming in and beating them pretty good, pretty handily, looking good. They also hit their free throws, so it's a team I would look to kind of bet on right now. Also against this Southern Miss team, they don't hit their free throws very much. They don't rebound very well. They don't push the pace. So it's not a team I'm really looking to bet on. However, they have put together 3 straight wins after losing to Western Kentucky not too long ago in a 76-71 battle in March. So Western Kentucky already beat them recently. I know you can use the revenge angle for Southern Miss. I would kind of buck this trend. I would look to bet on Western Kentucky again, kind of go back to back with the Hilltoppers.
Wow, I'm going to be figuring that out as I go. But right off the top, 18 points in the first 5 minutes and 2 seconds in Connecticut, Houston. We are on pace to cash that over. And 11 points in the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds in Rhode Island, Virginia, Commonwealth. We are barely on pace to cash that under there. So what a wonder. Oh, and Jorge don't play. Yes, I won't forget the thick-ass mustache play today. French League 2, Lille on the money line. Great stuff. You got Moss play of the day's Colorado at plus 125 or UL Monroe at plus 120. That's interesting. That's definitely worth a copy and paste from me. Great stuff today, you guys. Man, I feel like we're on point right now, coming off a big winning day for us all yesterday, which thank God for NHL. I don't know if you're Drew, but I had a tough day on the hardwood, but 6-0 in NHL. Second 6-0 in the last 14 days. God damn ya! So, Drew, thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to go over some of the quick plays of the day here before I let Drew go and we move on to the afternoon of study here. Matt Randall's play of the day is a parlay. Duke, Iowa State, and Arizona State parlay. The degenerate play of the day we have here. Sorry, I've got some... what is it, Cal State Berkeley? Sorry, I've got messed up the writing there. I'll double check that right now. Vinny Cornell's sausage selection play of the day is Davidson -6. Yellow Jesus balls deep play of the day is Flyers Leafs over. Hail to the Victors Big Dick Energy play of the day. Houston team total over 74. That's on pace to hit. And then the Flail Fish play of the day is that under 136 Florida LSU. And the Big Cojones play of the day, Western Kentucky money line. And that's where we stand at this point. Very, very exciting stuff, Drew. And yeah, sorry, it's UC Santa Barbara. It's my fault. UC Santa Barbara is the play of the day there that I had misspelled there. So that's what's up. Very exciting stuff. The degenerate play of the day, UC Santa Barbara -3.5 from Joseph Montano. Drew, where can we find you on Twitter? What are your shows for the rest of the week? And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. It's always fun, man. And 4 o'clock this afternoon with Maxwell Smart. It's always fun. So join us, Stripper Talk, college basketball talk. We'll be talking the degenerate late games as well for this Friday night. And then 10 o'clock both Saturday and Sunday. That's 10 a.m. Eastern time, going over those 2 cards. So join us over the weekend at 10 a.m. tonight or this afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern time with Max and I. You can follow me on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets or Instagram at Drew Martin Bets. And Jimmy, I got to ask you, man, that I love the marketing of all these plays from the LoBaggers. My favorite one was that sausage pepper one. Was it sausage and pepper or something about a sausage?
Yes, sausage was involved. Sausage selection is what our man Vinny Cornell calls it. Yellow Jesus has his balls deep play today. I like Big Dick Energy too. Big Dick Energy is I like it a lot. Yeah, we got some good stuff going on. We got some good stuff brewing here. Got some good stuff brewing here, and you're a big part of it, Drew. Thank you so much for joining us, my man.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. And I like that Costa Rican jersey too, man. Pura Vida.
Pura Vida, represent Zen. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's get this day off to a winning start. Let's keep the winning going from yesterday. Let's just keep goddamn winning. Leche, Alo's Bookmakers!